Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome to today's episode, seeing as at the Apple Switch. The Apple Switch? God. Okay, so that must be the level of product ingenuity that I'm sticking Nintendo on at the minute. But seeing as the Nintendo Switch, I should have said, is the hot topic of the moment, I thought I'd better give my 2 cents, 3 cents, $2, 2 dimes, whatever, on the issue. Now, for obvious reasons, I haven't included any of the Switch media or trailer or whatever in the video, purely because Nintendo are quite trigger happy with that sort of stuff, especially on YouTube. I'm not really bothered about the monetization. I sort of am. I'd rather them not make money off of me and also not stop my video from being displayed worldwide, but obviously there's not much they can do about me talking about it. Now, on the face of it, I can understand what they're trying to do. They want a portable console that is also a home console, so in that regard, I think that this will achieve it. The issue that I have is what third-party developers, such as Activision, who make Call of Duty, granted, not a game I particularly like, but a game that general gamers are going to be interested in. Like, how are you going to persuade them to bring this to your console? Is it going to be powerful enough to be able to deliver that handheld and on the big screen as well? Now, I know that they've got the dock and all that sort of stuff, and there will be ways of them to sort of make it more viable on the go, i.e. low resolutions or what have you. But is this really going to be an actual alternative to a games console? Are parents really going to want to buy this sort of thing for their children? So they're constantly on the Nintendo all the time, whereas with the PlayStation, the Xbox, they're always at home. Granted, they could have, a handheld device as well as your PlayStation or your Xbox. I don't think it really, in terms of a gaming experience, gives you any more than the PlayStation or the Xbox. It's not so much a direct rival as it could be, or in fact, as I believe it should be. Having a mobile screen to take with you, while it would be quite convenient for some people, especially, for example, like me, that would be quite convenient, that'd be quite nice. For, people who maybe share their consoles or have a family, that sort of thing is not particularly great. I do see some advantages, of course, if the child wants to play games, but the main TV is being used, and obviously they can take their console out of the dock and just play it normally. That's quite good from, that aspect of it. I do think the third-party things will be an issue in order to, obviously, like they've said, playing, co-oply local, you have to have very simplified controls in order to be able to get the control scheme to work, unless you're carrying around controllers with you. I also really dislike the way that they pop off the two side pieces, which obviously are the controls, and then use them independently. I think that will take quite a lot of getting used to. It's not obviously a natural playing position. It's a bit more sort of I wouldn't say novelty. I think it's novelty. I think it's not a particularly intuitive design. By looks of it as well, I don't know if I'm right or not in spotting this, but in the trailer they also looked like they were using the old Wii U gamepad. Not the actual one with the screen, or I don't know, whichever one they brought out previously from the previous generation, and that controller always seemed a little bit rubbish, to be quite frank. Then you've obviously got the cost of replacing such units. I mean, naturally, your main screen unit is going to be more at risk by taking it out, moving it about, as opposed to a console which just sits there. The thing that's most at risk is your controller. But now your controller, especially when you're out on the go, is attached to your screen and your main body of console. That sort of thing I'm not really a massive fan of. And then obviously you've got the playing online business. I'm guessing it will just be you have to connect to Wi-Fi in order to play. So you'll only be able to play your handheld games online on the go, unless they bring out like a 3G version, 4G version like they did with the PS Vita. Personally, I was always a big fan of the Vita, in terms of the idea of it and the type of games and the graphical fidelity of the games it was able to play. I thought that really did give it an edge. This is sort of trying to bridge the gap between the two. But I sort of fear in doing what they're doing now, they're almost cutting off their nose to spite their face. They're going to be encroaching upon their own market, which they basically own. They own the handheld gaming market outside of mobile. And by bringing this in, they're releasing a direct competitor into the fray. Such as, apologies, Sony has done with the Pro and the Slim. They basically nerfed the Slim by announcing that the Pro is going to be coming out so early. That's obviously a topic for another day. But my overall impressions of the Nintendo Switch are skeptical. I do like the look of it mostly. Obviously, apart from the controller and, basically just apart from the controller and apart from the whole gimmick of it as well. I think I just like Nintendo to make a proper console for once. I know that they're trying to innovate in their own Nintendo-ish way, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, some would say that's to be applauded. They've got more than enough money to be able to do that. But they need to really make sure that they support this to the bitter end, whatever that end may be, and that they, put their time and effort in. And it looks like they are going to be releasing some, good games for it, some very Nintendo-esque games, because I think, once again, Nintendo are going to have to rely really heavy on their first-party games. They really will struggle. I think they will struggle. I know they played Skyrim on there, but Skyrim is a very dated game at this point. I know they're releasing a new version with fancy graphics. I'm not sure if that's the one that's going to be on there, but even fancier graphics, obviously. But even so, it's a very old game. It's not like we're talking, this is the brand new Elder Scrolls that's going to be on Nintendo Switch, and I do think that they will struggle quite a lot with getting more third-party developers onto their platform. And at the end of the day, that's the only way, really, that they're going to become a viable platform to rival PlayStation and Microsoft. They just cannot do it on their first-party games. Not for the masses, not to get the however many millions of sales it is that the PlayStation has got. If they're just happy with, the dismal showing they did with the Wii U, I do think it's going to be a lot better than the Wii U. I think that a lot of people are more interested in this and are more willing to have a punt on this than they were on the Wii U. It's a console that I would actually consider getting, depending on the price. But I wouldn't, I suppose for me it's a little bit different. The games that I can get on PlayStation and Xbox, I can pretty much also get on PC, especially the Xbox games. But when it comes to the Nintendo games, you're fat out of luck when it comes to getting those games on PC. So, if there are good games on there, that's what's going to persuade me to buy it. But if, I'm a sort of rare exception. But if you want, casual fans and the, younger audience, children to get there, and obviously the hardcore Nintendo fans, you're still going to have to provide some really good first-party games. And to keep the longevity there, you need to get a third party involved. That's literally the way it is going to work. Personally, I still think the PlayStation's a much better offering, especially with the VR. I've heard lots of good things about that as well. Not that I would get it, but that's going to give it an extra edge. Yes, I still think it's a novelty, but there you go. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I've rambled on too long. Let me know what you guys think about the new Nintendo Switch. You might be really excited for it, really stoked. Like I say, I'm a bit I've come across quite harsh, but I'm actually really on the fence about it, and I do want to wait and see how it does. I need some more sort of notifications. Like I want to know what the power is, what the battery life is, what guaranteed third parties are going to be committed to it, and if they're going to release any specific games that would really benefit from having a mobile platform and a static platform as well. There's a lot more still to see on this. Hopefully they do release an actual proper controller that I like the look of. That would be nice. But other than that, yeah. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.